Good morning, guys. Welcome to Days with Jen. Yes, I have a little bit of my voice today. Yes, in the background, I have my Christmas tree lights on, and I have some other lights on only because today it is dark outside, it's rainy and windy out here. So if you hear kind of a thud against the trailer, it's because of the wind. But today, we are going to learn the Tunisian purl stitch. Now, last week we learned how to do the simple stitch of the Tunisian crochet. I used I think it was a size I hook because my H is being used. So today we're going to actually use a 4.5 Tunisian crochet hook. This is like a size G hook here when we're doing the purl stitch. Now in knitting, there is a purl stitch, but it's a little different, but it still gives a really unique look to your whatever project. Sorry, fix the camera there. Gives a really neat look to it. That's the front of what the purl stitch is going to look like, and here is the back. And just like we tied off with our simple stitch, we'll tie this off the same way. But once you learn how to do the simple and purl stitch, you can make just about anything with those two stitches. And later on in the week, we'll do another video teaching you how to alternate the simple stitch with the purl stitch to make the honeycomb stitch. But for now, we're going to work on this project. So today I have my yellow yarn. I believe this was called Lemon, and it's been sitting under with some other yarn that I don't hardly use, but I use it for these projects. We'll be using our crochet hook, or Afghan hook, Tunisian crochet, however you want to call it, measuring tape, my yarn needle, and a pair of scissors. So just like with our other projects, we are going to get started with this. And we are going to do our slip knot here, or cinch circle, however you want to call it. And I always have a little bit of a tail because it makes it easier. So for this project, I'm going to do a little more. Now with our simple stitch, I think I did like 10 on when we did the simple stitch project of the Tunisian simple stitch front, and there's the back. And this is 100% cotton that I used that for. This is 100% acrylic. And this one, I think I did 20 on this. So of course, it made it a little bit wider with doing the project. So on this project, let's go ahead and count to 20 and let's see what it looks like. So just like with our other projects, we're going to yarn over and pull through to do our starter chain. So there's one on the hook. We're going to pull through a second one. There's two. So just do a chain of 20. And your Tunisian crochet, I'm at 20. And before we get started and before I forget, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications so anytime I upload a video, you will be notified of it. And at any time you're not sure of how I'm doing something and need to go back to look at it, you can rewind the video, watch it as many times as you need to get what I'm doing. So I've done 20. So just like our beginning with our simple stitch, we're going to go through the first hole here. This loop always stays on. We're going to yarn over and pull through. That's going to give us 2 loops on our hook. We're going to go to the next one, yarn over and pull through. There's 3. Go through the hole again, yarn over, pull through. 4, 5, 6, and you're going to do that all the way down. 7, 8, 9, 10, 19, and there's 20 on the hook. So anytime you want to make sure you have the right count, always count them so you know exactly how many loops you have on your hook. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So like our simple stitch, we always do our first row the same way. We did our 10 with our simple stitch, but this is going to be a purl stitch. So we are going to yarn over and pull through our first, this loop right here on the hook. So we're going to yarn over and pull through the 1. We're still going to have 20 on our hook. Once we do that 1 through there, through the last loop there, we're going to yarn over and pull through 2, and we're going to go back all the way through. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And every start with Tunisian crochet starts the same way. Sometimes the yarn likes to split a little bit. Just stop, fix it, you're good to go. And if you want your stitches to be a little bit bigger, just go up a size or 2 on your Tunisian crochet hook. It's perfectly fine. If you do not have a Tunisian crochet hook that have just a regular metal hook and you're just doing 20, you can do it on a regular metal hook. That's how I started, was just using a regular crochet needle that was metal. And I use Boyd. I don't like the Bates, but I use the Boyd metal ones. And that's how I learned how to do my Tunisian crochet. So we're going to go all the way through. So we are at the end, and we still have the 1 loop on our hook. I don't have my yarn deal with me today, so I got to pull the yarn out. So there is the back of those stitches, and I'm going to just flip this upside down to show you. Here is all of our bars that go crossed on every single one of them. Now, with the simple stitch, we went into the first bar and pulled it through this way, but we're not doing that today. Sorry, I still have my cold. And yesterday, I really had no voice. So this time, though, we're going to put our needle, the yarn in front of our needle here, of our crochet hook. We're going to go into that first bar. You can see it there. We're going to loop this around and hold this spot right here with your thumb and pull through that yarn, and you just did your first purl stitch. So again, you're going to put your crochet needle behind the yarn. The yarn's going to be in the front. You're going to go through your next bar, then bring the yarn around, hold the yarn with your thumb and the yarn there. You're going to yarn over and pull through that second one. You can already see here with the 2 that I have on there. Sorry if you're having a hard time seeing it. I've already done 2 purl stitches, or what is considered a purl stitch. So with this here, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to hold my yarn in front of my crochet hook. I'm going to go into the 3rd hole, bring my yarn around, and I'm holding this, holding right there. yarn over and pull through. And I'm sorry with the cameras and stuff. I know I need to get better camera setup. But I can at least flip this upside down so you can actually see what your purl stitches should look like as you're doing them. Let's see if I can do this a little bit better. So yarn that over, go through that, yarn over, hold it, and you're going to go through. There is your 4th purl stitch. So go ahead and work your way down on these stitches. And I'll see you at the end. Sorry if it's making you a little dizzy that I'm moving stuff around. And you're going to go behind each bar. You're going to put the yarn in front of your crochet hook, go into the bar, go behind with the yarn, hold on to the yarn that you just put in front and pull through the loop there. Pull through. Sometimes they don't like coming through. Whoops, that one did not. Here we go. And as soon as I get to the end here, I'll show you how to do the last one. And sometimes it may kind of accidentally go under one. Just pull it out and you'll be fine. And it's okay if you make a mistake. It's part of learning. And like I grew up learning, practice makes perfect. So it just takes time. And it's okay. I've gotten frustrated with projects at times too. But each of these are being done using the purl stitch. So you're going to get to your very last bar here, right here. And you're going to do the same thing with the last bar. Put your yarn in front. You're going to put the yarn in there. You're going to bring it around, hold on to your bar in the loop there, and you're going to go right through it. Now, just like we did with the first row, and like we did with simple stitch, is we are going to chain 1 at that very last stitch, and then we are going to reverse going all the way to the first one loop. So we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. And this is after, and there should be 20 on your hook. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So I'm just going all the way back through on this. So I am back to just my 1 loop on the hook. So you can see the back of the project I've already started. You'll see the holes through here because those are where new bars are. And here is our first row of the purl stitch that you see right here at the bottom, right along here. This was our chain that we did. And then this was our chain, our second one for purl. Now our neck, we're going to do another row and just pull apart. If you have to see your bars, pull apart the yarn so you can see your bars that you're going to work into. So we're going to do the same thing as we did with the first row. We're going to put the yarn in front of our hook, go into the bar. We're going to yarn over and pull through and do another purl stitch. We're going to go through the second bar, yarn back over, and go through. And the way you know you've done the purl stitch right is you will have those little loops over your bars there that you started. That is how you will know that you did it. And pretty soon, all muscle memory will take over. Once you learn the stitch, it'll be second nature, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's for the purl stitch for Tunisian. Now, a lot of people think that the purl stitch is just for knitting. It's not. It's also part of Tunisian crochet. But the purl stitch is done a little different with knitting. And my yarn likes to do this. It likes to put a little knot in it. So I'm just unhooking that so I have it. And I've gotten to the point that I can get these done pretty quickly. But I have to really pay attention to what I'm doing, because if I don't, then I do mess up. So we're almost to the end. And it's okay if it bunches up a little bit while you're trying to do that. So I'm at my last bar. I'm going to do the same thing as I've done all the way down. I'm going to put my hook through the bar there. I'm going to yarn over, pull through. I've got a loop across that bar. So as you can see, all of them have that loop over the bar. I'll be glad when I do get a better setup for my laptop for doing all this. So we're going to go ahead, count, make sure we have 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 15, 16, 18, 20. So just like all the other ones, we're going to yarn over, pull through the one. Then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So this also gives a nice look to scarves. And there's other projects you can do that will actually, you can use Tunisian crochet for. But I stay with the principles and the simple basics to this just because of the stuff I do. I'm going through all the way back. There, we've gone all the way back. So we've already got 2 rows of the purl stitch done. In the back here, you can kind of see it here as it has almost like a knitted look. I'm sorry, my computer's camera is not very good. So knitted look to the purl look. So we're going to do one more row, and then we will actually close it off just like we did with our simple stitch. So let's go ahead and do one more row. So this one you can do on your own. And yes, I haven't fully learned how to edit stuff. So, and some of you are probably kind of glad that I'm going along with you guys on this project. Because I feel sometimes when people do the project with you, some people learn better that way. Like I cannot read a pattern. I'd rather learn by watching somebody do the project and talk through it. But everybody learns differently, and that's okay. Some people learn, by just watching it once and they get it down pat. Some people, it could take them 100 times. It took me a few months to actually get the magic circle down. So it all depends on how you learn. And I do this with other people anyways, because I know what it's like to have had a stroke and lose some things and get them back. But it's easier for me to learn the way I teach because this is how I learned with more stuff over the years. I'm in my late 40s and I had my stroke at 21. So, and back then, most doctors didn't know how to deal with it. Hematology did, but most doctors didn't at the time. And I was very lucky, actually. I've got, and I don't talk about it much, but I do have a slight lasting defect of it. And that is, I sometimes, if you notice, I'm stumbling over my words. That's why. It's just something it did to me. So I'm doing my last one here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. As you see with each row, I am counting them to make sure that it's the same number of stitches that I'm doing for this project. We're going to go ahead and do one single crochet, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through the 2 going backwards now. And I did show you the sample that I did the other day. And a lot of times before I teach, I do samples so you guys can actually get an idea of what your project should look like. And I recommend if you just want to practice, you can just use as much yarn as you want, or you can use a certain amount of yarn and just practice going back and forth, tear it out, do it again. Whatever works for you. Same with the granny squares. It's whatever works for you because you never know what you're going to come up with. And I love seeing designs that people have just decided to mess with the yarn or what they've decided to do. So just like the simple crochet, we're going to go ahead and close this off. So instead of going back and forth like we were doing with our purl stitch, we're going to go through this first bar here. We're going to yarn over, pull the yarn through, and then we're going to pull that second loop for the first loop. We're going to go through our second bar here, yarn over, pull through the second loop. And we're going to do that all the way down, yarn over, pull through the loop, and then we're going to pull through the loop again. We're going to go through the next bar here, yarn over, pull through the loop, pull through the loop. Go through the bar, yarn over, pull through. So there's 2 loops on your hook. You're going to take that second loop and pull through the one. And you're going to do that all the way down to where you're going through your bars, yarning over and putting your second loop through your first one there. Yarn over, pull through the loop. Yarn over, pull through the loop. You're just going to do that all the way down. My mom, one time, I got frustrated with a project I was doing and I saw a mistake and I tore it out and redid it. My mom says, I don't have the patience you do to tear something out and redo it. She says, with the small mistake, I would just keep going. But that's not me. If I see a mistake that I've made and I'm not that far into it, I prefer to tear it out and restart. So that's just me. I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to certain things. And that's probably a good thing at some things. I mean, my trailer's not that clean and smells like cat, but even though I try to keep it clean, but having a male cat doesn't always help. So I'm going to yarn over, pull through the last loop. Then I'm going to yarn over, pull through on that last. I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to cut it. And now before I sew in the ends, I'm going to use my tape measure here. I'm going to have to put this on my count desk here because or my table here because I can't do it by hand. So if I have it completely flat, it's about 5 inches. So this is about 5 inches across. And we only did maybe, slightly about 1.25 inches on it. So this is the back side. So you'll have this really neat little look. And here's the front from doing the purl stitch. This is what your purl stitch should look like if done correctly. So I'm going to take my yarn needle. We're going to sew in the ends. Doing stuff a lot of times with one color helps a lot, especially when you're sewing in ends. And I'm going to see here where the best spot would be to go, and it's right here. But I'm kind of going in between, and it's kind of hard to see, but I'm able to kind of weave my way through the bars a little bit here of the stitches. There. And you can kind of see a little bit of a loop. I'm going to take this. And I try to pull on it just a little bit. And yes, holding the yarn needle in my teeth is something I learned from my mom. My mom, growing up, used to sew, make me beautiful dresses and all that. So, and then this is where you actually went and closed it off. So, and you can do the same thing, just kind of weave in and out of your stuff here through your bars here, because you can't really see totally where I'm going to be closing off at. And the thing about using one color actually really helps when you're closing it off. So that is our purl stitch sign off to, and then how to start, stop, close it off. So I would love to see what your purl stitch looks like. And like I said, you can always rewind the video and look back at it. The reason why I like doing these live videos is not only if you hear my voice and you can hear what I'm doing, even if you can't see right away what I'm doing, you hear what I'm doing, and I can show you moving the camera on my laptop around on these projects. You can always look back to actually see what it looks like when it's done. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Again, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications. And yes, that is Alex in the back saying hello. Here's my voice talking on the film, and he likes to poke his head out once in a while. So I hope you have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye for now.